The gold glitters in the scorching July sun as servants pour it from leather sacks onto Cairo's dusty streets. A black king from the edge of the world smiles, unaware he's about to destroy an entire economy. The year is 1324, and Mansa Musa of Mali has just walked into Cairo with so much wealth that merchants will speak of this moment for the next 12 years. But this isn't just a story about gold. This is about a man who built an empire so vast it stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the bend of the Niger River, encompassing modern-day Mali, Senegal, Burkina Faso, Niger, Guinea, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, Mauritania, and part of Ivory Coast. A king whose subjects numbered in the millions, whose capital city of Niamey housed universities that attracted scholars from across the known world. Musa ibn Abubakar ascends to power around 1312, inheriting a throne that his predecessor had abandoned in the most extraordinary way possible. His brother, Abu Bakr II, had become obsessed with discovering what lay beyond the Atlantic Ocean. Against all counsel, the former king commissioned 200 ships filled with men, and another 200 loaded with gold, water, and provisions. They sailed west into the endless blue, chasing horizons that seemed to mock their ambition. Only one ship returned, its captain speaking of a river in the middle of the ocean that swallowed vessels whole. Undeterred, Abu Bakr II built an even larger fleet, 2,000 ships this time. He placed the crown on his brother's head, stepped aboard the lead vessel, and vanished into legend. Musa finds himself ruler of an empire he never expected to inherit, governing subjects who whisper that their kings are touched by madness. But where his brother saw mystery, Musa sees opportunity. He transforms Mali into a medieval superpower through sheer force of vision. Gold flows from the mines of Bambak and Bure like rivers of liquid sunlight. Salt from the Saharan mines of Togoza becomes more precious than silver. Timbuktu evolves from a seasonal camp into a glittering metropolis where Quranic scholars debate philosophy while merchants haggle over ivory, slaves, and copper. The empire's wealth becomes almost mythical. Ibn Battuta, the great traveler, will later write of villages where common farmers wear gold ornaments that would bankrupt European nobles. Trade routes stretch like arteries across the continent, pumping prosperity into every corner of Musa's domain. Then comes the call that would define his legacy forever. Every Muslim who can afford it must make the Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca. For most rulers, this means traveling light, moving quickly, staying humble. Musa decides to do the opposite. If he's going to walk across the Islamic world, he'll do it in a way that ensures no one ever forgets the name of Mali. The caravan he assembles defies comprehension. 60,000 people stretch across the desert like a moving city. 12,000 servants dressed in silk carry golden staffs. 80 camels struggle under the weight of gold dust, each beast bearing 300 pounds of the precious metal. 500 slaves march in formation, each clutching a golden staff weighing over 6 pounds. The king himself rides under a pavilion of gold, his every movement generating sparkles that dance in the desert heat. But it's in Cairo where the magnitude of his wealth becomes truly apparent. For 3 months, Musa transforms the ancient city into his personal stage. He hands out gold coins to strangers on the street. He purchases everything that catches his eye at prices that make merchants weep with joy. His nephew accidentally insults the Sultan, and Musa smooths over the diplomatic crisis by gifting so much gold that the slight becomes irrelevant. The economic impact is catastrophic and immediate. Gold's value plummets so dramatically that it won't recover for over a decade. Merchants who thought they were making the deal of a lifetime find themselves holding metal that's worth less than the leather pouches containing it. The Cairo gold market, one of the ancient world's most stable institutions, lies in ruins. On his return journey, Musa realizes what he's done. In Alexandria, he desperately tries to buy back gold at premium prices, borrowing money at outrageous interest rates. But the damage is complete. His generosity has rewritten the economic geography of North Africa. News of his wealth travels along trade routes faster than he does. The 1375 Catalan Atlas places Mali prominently on world maps, showing Musa holding a golden nugget with the inscription, "This Negro lord is called Musa Mali, lord of the Negroes of Guinea." So abundant is the gold which is found in his country that he is the richest and most noble king in all the land. But Musa's true legacy extends far beyond gold. He transforms Timbuktu into medieval Africa's intellectual capital. The University of Sanko becomes so renowned that its degrees are recognized in North Africa and the Middle East. Scholars travel from Cairo and Baghdad to study mathematics, astronomy, and Islamic law in its halls. Yet perhaps the most remarkable thing about Mansa Musa isn't his wealth, it's how completely his story was erased from popular consciousness. For centuries, the narrative of African civilization was deliberately suppressed, replaced with myths of primitive tribes and empty lands. The man who once put Africa at the center of the medieval world map became a footnote, his achievements buried beneath layers of colonial propaganda. When you encounter someone who claims Africa had no great civilizations, remember Mansa Musa. Remember the king whose casual generosity crashed international markets, whose empire's universities attracted students from 3 continents, whose wealth was so legendary that European cartographers drew him into their maps of the world. In our age of cryptocurrency crashes and market volatility, Musa's story feels remarkably contemporary. He reminds us that true power isn't just about accumulating wealth, it's about how you choose to use it, how you build institutions that outlast your lifetime, and how you ensure your people's stories survive long after the gold has turned to dust.